All right, so today we're going to be looking at this story. And to get us thinking about this story, I want you to answer this question. Have you ever wanted something, but you never got it? How did that make you feel? Because today we're going to be reading a story and we're going to try to support the theme of this story. So we're going to look for some details in the story and see if we can prove that the theme we come up with is really the theme. So we're going to review what that means. I'm going to model answering a question that's going to help us come up with a theme. You're then going to continue reading the story and answering some more questions. Then at the end, you're going to decide what is the theme and how can you prove that's the theme. And then we're going to reflect. And if we have time, we're also going to apply this theme in your real life. So remember, theme is the main message, lesson, or moral of the story, right? Sometimes they tell you in the story what the theme is, and then a lot of times, though, they don't. Some examples of some themes are like, be kind to others, friends are important, don't give up. Okay, so we're going to try to ask ourselves, what is the author trying to teach me? And here are some questions that can help us come up with this answer. Like, what happens to the characters? That means, like, what's the problem in the story? How do the characters react to the problem? What do the characters learn? Like, what happened at the end for them to solve this problem? Okay, and then how do the characters grow or change throughout the story? Those questions are going to help me come up with the theme. So we can use problem and solution. Since we know that really well, that can help us remember theme. We can stop, think, and react as we read and think about what's the problem, right? How do they react? That's how they try to solve that problem. The important decisions that they make, that's similar to like what the characters learn. Okay, that's kind of like how do they decide how to end this problem? And then how do the characters grow and change? That's going to help me come up with the theme, because what the characters learn is very similar to what we should learn. So I'm going to model what the problem is. So I'm going to make sure that I'm answering this using the RACE strategy. Remember, we want to make sure we restate and answer, we cite the evidence, and we explain our thinking. So I'm going to watch just a little bit of the story, and then I'm going to try to answer this question. What is the main problem in the story? So we're going to watch part of this right now.
Every year, as traditions go, they get in their cars at the first sign of snow and head to the farm at the edge of town to cut the family Christmas tree down. As Christmas neared, the trees rejoiced, for families would come and make their choice. Which trees would go and which would stay? Oh, please pick me, the trees would say. Take me to your home, said the fat Scotch pine. Dress me with bulbs and lights, said the fir so fine. They all were excited, except for one. He knew that his days of being picked were done. I've seen my sisters and brothers, daughters and sons, grandkids and great-grandkids picked one by one. I'll never be taken home, too big and too tall. Sobbing and crying made his pine needles warm.
Okay, so I just found the problem. So when I think about what the problem of the story is, I see this old pine tree, right? And he is feeling like he wanted to be a Christmas tree, but no one's ever going to pick him. So that's what I've said here. I've restated an answer. I said the main problem is, because the question was, what is the main problem? So I had to restate that, cross out what, cross out is, and say the main problem is that the old pine tree was sad that he never got chosen to be a Christmas tree. Now, in the RACE strategy, I need to use some text evidence. So the text says what about that? Well, I remember it saying, if I want to look back, I could always play it again, the spot that I was looking for.
His days of being picked were done. I've seen my sisters and brothers, daughters and sons, grandkids and great-grandkids picked one by one. I'll never be taken home, too big and too tall.
All right, so that's the evidence I'm going to use to prove the thinking. In the text it says, I'll never be taken home, I'm too big and too tall. So to find your evidence, you might need to go back in the video and watch part of it as well. But now I need to explain my thinking. So now I need to go through and think, What does it mean that I'll never be taken home? I'm too big and too tall. Like, why can't he be a Christmas tree? Well, he said, I'm too big, right? People can't pick up a huge Christmas tree and put it in their house. Their houses, they don't have tall enough roofs. So he's become an outdoor tree forever. It can never be taken home. So I need to explain that in my thinking. So I said, this means that the old pine tree wishes that he had been picked to be taken home with someone to be their Christmas tree, but knows that he will never be able to do that now that he has gotten too big to be in someone's house. Okay, so remember when you explain, it's more of your words of making it clear of why your answer is true. So now you guys are going to go through and you're going to finish listening to the story, okay? And then you're going to answer this question using the right strategy. This is a can do, but it's going to be very helpful in coming up with the theme. So how does the old pine tree grow and change from the beginning of the story to the end? So then you're going to go through and you're going to think, what is the theme? What have you learned from these characters in the story? And you are going to type that answer using the race strategy. And as always, don't forget to reflect. How can we learn a lesson from the problems we have in our life? And have you ever learned a lesson after you had a problem? Then you can apply your knowledge of what we learned from the story, and you can go through here and answer these great questions from the lesson that I learned from the story. So if you have any questions, please let us know and have a great day. Thanks, guys. Bye.